Namaskar. Welcome to She Thrive. Every woman has two stories. One, the world sees, where we see promotions, smiles, achievements, photographs, and celebrations. And the other one that she quietly carries and hardly talks about. The nights she questioned herself, the dreams she put out on hold, the guilt she never spoke about, and the failures she hid, the courage that we see, but how she gathers that, how that begins again and again. I'm your host, Prerna Tripathi, and in today's podcast, we are going to talk about very important topic and very, very close to every strong woman's heart, resilience. She does not always fall and rise from her setbacks. She shows the world how power actually looks like raw and real. I'm a leadership coach, a posh consultant, and founder of the company called Thrive Edge, which is built with a vision of making workplace worth living. My today's guest is really special, and I'm absolutely honored to have her with me on the stage. Her name is Dr. Mitali Dahru. She is owner of a company called Antardisha. She's building an organization where she's giving that voice, visibility, and inner calm to the people who are heading towards leadership positions. Thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Mitali, today, and I really welcome you in today's episode. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Prerna. I'm doing very well. Thank you. And thank you for creating this such a wonderful platform for women, by the women, I think, and this is very powerful in a way. So thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me for this conversation. I'm looking forward to.
Thank you so much. And it is absolutely my pleasure. And I am 100% sure, Dr. Mitali, that our viewers are going to carry lot with this discussion today because this resilience is quietly every woman is living today. So before we really get into this discussion, and I'm very excited to take it forward today, I'm sure I'm excited to know, and so my viewers will be, to know who is Mitali. A young girl before she really moved into this journey of entrepreneurship. She started building others' vision and mission in life. Who is Mitali as a girl, as a woman today that we see?
I think thank you for this very reflective question at first. I think, and if I have to look at myself and again and again, I would probably define myself as that, happily curious child inside, right? So when it comes with these two words, happily and curious, that means that I'm always thriving to observe what's around me and not just, and that observation at times becomes my power, and sometimes it's also my weakness, because when I observe, I want to learn, and I don't want to stop myself doing that. And on the other hand, when I'm observing, that also means that I'm also carrying that how other things around me looks like, how people around me feel like, and that sort of sometimes swings Mitali in a way, right? So that's somewhere me, and to and to just add on to this a little bit more, I'm someone who really try and find joy in smaller things, whether it is reading, whether it is traveling, whether it is just being with my kids for a while, and also being in that space where I'm trying to work around with people and see the real impact coming in. So those things make happily curious Mitali a happy Mitali. So yeah,
Very
I
nice.
would
I
put it that
really
way.
loved it. The way you explained yourself, happily and curious. Wonderful. And I'm sure that's what made you who you are today because, we say that, a curious child becomes a leader at some point in time in life. And so you are reflecting. Oh, lovely, wonderful. And, I'm sure that your journey is beautiful and you have built it with your own caliber. So if again we go a little dig deeper into the reflection part of it, and if I say that if you would have met your 20-year self, would you have imagined yourself where you are today, Mitali?
No, I don't think. Absolutely not. I think to become someone, and the way you become somebody is also through a lot of lived experiences you have throughout your life, right? At my 20s, I was any other, you know, a person who was visioning, who was aiming to do different things in life. I'm grateful that, during that age, I had those opportunities, which where I, there were opportunities which I could really thrive. The good education, a good network of friends, the people to guide me in life somewhere. Right. So all of that was definitely there. And I'm truly grateful for all of those experiences in my 20s. But in my 20s, I had never imagined that I would become someone that who I am today. My 20s was also engrossed in studies, but also, you know, visioning some dreams and, also looking at dreams which I would fulfill very beautifully, and there will be a rose carpet and I'll just walk and I'll be there. But then you grow up and you live life, and then you know that I would not say that everything is not easy.
Hmm.
And rather I'll put it this way, that nothing is impossible if you try to put yourself 100% there,
Yeah,
beyond the challenges, beyond the situations that come to your life. If not today, later, but you will make it. So that's what I've learned through these 20 years. But my 20-year-old girl was studying, was dreaming, was curious,
absolutely.
and was also carefree.
Lovely, lovely, so beautiful. So to say, I mean, of course, when we all are young, we have our own created word and we are very happy in that word, but then life happens and it hits. Very nice. So again, since very beautifully said that Mitali was dreaming when she was 20, perhaps. So what did you dreamt of at that time that you wanted to become?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think, for me, somewhere by my 20s or something, there's this basic instinct that you get about yourself. For me, it was always that I could get along with people really well, in terms of understanding emotions, in terms of understanding people. But at that point in time, there was no ready career path as such for me. I was simply thinking that I will be successful, doing whatever, Probably at that point of time, I was just like that, I'll do my doctorate, and, I will be there, and I will be, in some university, being a professor, catering with students and all of that. So I was always somewhere thinking around that. And if I just look back to the 20s right now, and thank you for asking that, though, that question, because now there are like a lot of flashback memories also coming in. But I never thought that I will grow up to an individual who will build workplaces, who will be sitting there in center of the people and understanding that how their emotional journeys walk into their professional journeys, and how do you work along all of those aspects, which are really vulnerable for certain folks, and not easy to be put out there. I was not someone who was thinking that I would be strongly standing for inclusion, for equity, things
Yeah.
like that. But I looked at the dreams, definitely. I could also complete a part of it. But now I realize that that was just one part of the overall story.
So true.
And that story is still evolving. So my dreams are also evolving, I would say.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's good, and that's what women's are known for. They have been fighting a lot of stereotypes in their life. I would like to put it at every level. Yeah, everyone has a different journey, and that's what we talk about. You say reflection, and that's what is very powerful part of being a woman or a human being, so to say. I think power lies within us. Perhaps we don't get enough time to look into ourselves. And these are the moments when we actually reflect and see. So we are talking about women's today, and the how women's look today has actually evolved, is evolving. For many of the women's, they are breaking the stereotype. They are not only powerful, but they are pulling others. They are pulling people up, and they are helping other women's grow. They're very strong and successful. But there are very few people who really ask, you know, that what they have to survive before becoming successful. It's not easy to reach at a success level for a woman. And I say this with conviction, because of course, we are nurturer by nature, women's are, and in our society all over the world, we are expected to take care of certain things which are kind of understood that you being a mother or someone who runs the house has to take care of it. And of course there are shared responsibilities as we talk today, but still the heavier part lies on us. So what is the one chapter of your life that has completely changed your journey of who you are today, being a successful woman?
No, I think this is very relevant what you said, Prerna, that women by nature, are supposed to be the caregivers. They are nurturers. They are just there because that's how the feminine energy within themselves really work.
Yes, yes.
And I would not categorize this as male female. I would definitely categorize this as our energies, both feminine and a masculine energies that we have.
Yes,
And I'm sure most of us do have a larger bit of that feminine energy to ensure that we stand there. I think the story of my life has changed by a lot of events in a way, right? And what you become growing up, I was, even physically, I was a very lean child, right? So everyone would sort of very, easily say that, oh, she's very weak. She's very lean in a way, right? And there's a power of words, right? So if people keep on saying you weak, you would start believing that I am weak, right? So
so
that
true.
was
Yes.
probably a physical comment. But then eventually somewhere that comment also sits on your head space, right? And then from the background that we come with, I'm really grateful that we had all the opportunities and everything to study at par and be there. However, I would also say that growing up, that confidence to speak for yourself was still not there because somewhere that tagging was there that she's weak or this community of women somewhere is on a weaker bit, right? And I
Hmm.
think, and I would not say just growing up, but today also when I sit at different tables of discussions, this is usual. As women rise to the higher positions and everywhere, you would see most of them, there are many of them, not everyone, but there are many of them who would just be quieter at the moments where they should actually speak because they think there is more power in the room by other folks who can really discuss the point maybe better. Or
Yeah.
maybe that point is going to well bought if they are saying it and not the particular women is saying. Right?
Right.
So all of those things sort of equally, as it sits with other people, had also sit with me that it's not right to speak at all the times or speak up, you
Yeah.
will be tagged in a different way. So whether it is a personal space or it is a professional space, saying no is very tough. Or, creating boundaries for yourself again becomes a super challenge. You need whole community to let you help create boundaries. But I think then life happened. And even professionally, I kept on taking challenges. And I would say with Antadisha also, this is one challenge for myself I've taken on me that, oh yes, I'm going to be in this space and I'm going to see that how, I can effectively create an impact, at a larger communities who really need people like us to support them in their journeys. And similarly in my personal space, I think and this is so vulnerable to discuss on a platform, is that I was within my career journeys, and then there is this major event few years back. I was expecting my child while I also while we also lost our father, and that was a situation which really held us back with lot of things at that point in time, and we could have chosen a journey which was about staying inwards, quiet, and just live with everything that you have learned throughout life. But I think that resilience to come back more stronger, while I knew that family needed a more stronger individual of me because I already had an elder kid they also needed me, and everyone was going through an emotional journey. And while I was expecting my second one, there was a lot of physical strains for me as well as that emotional and the mental strain. But and during the same time, I was also submitting my thesis. So so all of this, happening together with my work, and there was someone just came up to me, would you like to take on just one path and drop rest of the things so that you can just concentrate on one particular path and you will be in sanity? I think I'm grateful that I did not chose that. I am grateful that there was also a people who said that you should not do that.
Mm.
And we could really hit those roadblocks. And post that, my child was delivered healthy, touch wood. The family definitely is still emotional underways, but we have recovered so far. The
Yeah.
Antardisha came along, so I think one situation made us realize that you're not weak. Whatever said you were never weak or weaker or weakest. It's all in your head, right? If you think that I'm gonna
Yes,
make
yes.
it through, you will make it through. And that's how.
Lovely, lovely. Your journey is definitely full of resilience and emotions and setbacks and bouncing back. So Mitali, one thing that you were talking and that really stayed with me is that a girl which was raised up with multiple and multiple events where she was considered as weak, and then she is the girl who is doing her doctorate and navigating the entire family with that emotional setback and raising strong children's, as well as building a dream organization or company of her own towards uplifting other. How did that journey, that entire experience made Mitali feel? How did you feel when all of this was happening in your life? It was too much to handle anyways. So like, what did you feel when you were going through all of this together? In this story that to begin with, you were always being judged as a weaker child and lean and physically they used to point fingers on you, and then eventually you have grown up as a strong woman, an entrepreneur, as well as that phase of your life where you were carrying kids and families and taking your entire family through that emotional setback, as well as carrying kids and doing your doctorate, so studying and a lot of assignments, projects, everything is there always. I know how difficult this may look like. So how did you feel, from being judged at some point in time and maybe even till today, to being such a strong woman? How did you feel internally about it?
Yeah. No, but this is I think as you say, it becomes more prominent. But when you are just there in a moment, you look for a daily sort of, something that what I'm getting up for today, right? We always talk about this ikigai. So I think in such moments, you get your ikigai, and if you usually just try to find the ikigai, you will never be. I think this is how the life teaches you that you sustain for what, you raise for what, right? And you start looking for priorities. And very strongly I would say that as women, you know and as strongly as I could put that, and I don't want to generalize things here, but every individual, just rise up or wakes up every morning for different things that they might, be thinking about. I was recently talking to someone, and they started their fitness journey like few years back. They were like super overweight and had health issues, and they said, for my entire life I never thought about that I should be into fitness, because even if I was fat and all, I was doing fine. But
Hmm.
then one day those medical reports came in, and it struck to me, if something happened, what is going to happen with my kids, with my family, and
Yeah.
things like that. And that becomes their sort of motivation to wake up and get on to this thing. For me,
Hmm.
also, if I have to really put it that way, I think in those times, yes, it was not that every day we were waking up strong. There were days we wanted to take it off. There were days we just don't wanted to touch anything, talk about anything, and do things. But then you have so much around that you have to show up at times, show
Hmm.
up anyway. And And I think
Yes.
those moments really taught me that number one, show up. Don't hesitate to show up. And whatever you were holding off to speak from these number of years, that intimate nature of yours, that it's not
Hmm.
right. Think about it.
Hmm.
Just say it anyway. We will see how
Hmm.
things come. And I think
Lovely.
that has shaped me in a way as an individual now that I get into the things and we'll see how it happens. So,
Lovely.
and I'll just quote this here. I spoke to you and I said, yeah, Prerna, let's do it on 16th. And my week is like fully loaded. And now I'm like,
I know.
stuck there. Let's see how it
Yeah,
goes.
I mean, we were continuously chasing each other. But I knew. See,
Yeah,
I was so proud of you even then, Mitali, because you were busy. And for me, when you are busy, it's always good that you're moving and you're doing something, you're achieving something. So that's what actually made me feel proud when I see a woman super busy in their life. I mean, on an emotional side, health side, of course, it's overwhelming. It gets overwhelming. But on the other side, the positive side of it is that you're engaged for good. It can be family engagements, it can professional engagements and multiple sort of things because naturally we are designed and programmed in such a way to handle multiple things. We are multitaskers. But yes, I mean, I know I had to, fall behind your life, and I would congratulate you for being committed. I see that positively also, that we made it. Lovely. Yeah, so we were talking about this, that there have been many heavy days and where life really demands from us. And in this entire journey, was there a moment when you actually forgot who Mitali is?
absolutely. Absolutely. I think entire time, because you were prioritizing everything which was more important at that time to be really sitting and reflecting on, what and where should I focus on. But Brenda, I tell you the catch here. Even if you have to be there for people, be there for work, be there for whatever is there in your life which is super pressing, you have to find a moment where you come to your own calm space so that you are 100% out there for folks. I think between all of this, I found my own way to be at my calm space so that things doesn't get overwhelmed on me and I just I'm just not in my control anymore
Mhm.
because it's easy said than done at times, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Right, when we say that no, you can be successful, put these many hours into doing something and you will be there, right? So we all talk about it. We talk about outliers. Put 10,000 hours into something and you will do all of, you will become a perfect person in a thing. Then a commitment to those 10,000 hours also comes with some mind space that you create for yourself. So when
Yeah.
there were times and I was fully into it, I was overwhelmed. I was just not in control of my emotions at times. But I also knew that this is also a situation I cannot be that open around my people because they will break. And if I do not, then I will break.
Yes.
But I think between all of this, I found my way and I encourage everyone who's going to listen to this to find your own way to calm. My way is it's important that you let out things, right? You go running, you
Yes.
go walking, you do whatever
Yes.
which lets you let
Yeah.
out things. For me, I think it was a pen and a paper. You write it
Okay.
down and you feel okay. It's better because you shared it in some way. Because
So
anyway, the
true.
sharing is always your own mental creation,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you
I
do
mean,
it in any way. So I did that.
since you're talking about it, yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
I mean, since you're talking about it, our journey looks really similar at this point in time. Whatever you are talking, whatever you have lived, even so to say, I have lived it. Some part of it, I'm living it still, but quite a lot of I've also gone through, gone through those phases, and I'm sure that many, many strong women that we see today, they have lived those moments. And yes, I mean, I have evolved when I adopted this exact strategy that you're talking about. Find that couple of minutes in a day for yourself, and like as you said, this is pen and paper for you, it's a grass walk for me. I
Yeah.
get up early and I go and walk on the grass for 10,
Mm.
15 minutes because I don't have much time. But even that is so relieving. And I thought that since the time I'm doing it, my thoughts are more structured. I'm able to think, I'm able to manage, maybe not that perfectly, but yes, I'm able to do that. I mean, I instantly connected and I really want to point it out there for other women who are hearing this, that we say that we don't have time, and definitely you don't have time. I agree with you because whatever you are doing, it's like an army's work. I'll say that. But like, do that tug of war and find those 10 minutes also for you. Begin with that 10 minutes. Until unless you snatch that moment for you, nobody's going to
Yeah.
hand it to a served in a platter that go have a cup of tea in a cozy corner because
So for me, Prerna, it's never the morning 10 minutes. I wind up
hmm,
my day with that. I
nice.
journal it and I feel better because by that time the external noise is off. It's just your
Yes.
internal noise, then you put it down and you make it off and then you go to sleep. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
so
it
I
could be
mean, we can
anything for
find our
anyone.
ways,
You
but
can
it
find.
can be different for different people. But we
Yeah.
need to find it out that what
Yeah.
soothes you. Even standing in a balcony and watching sunrise, sunset, stars,
Beautiful.
moving aeroplanes, anything can relax you.
Yeah.
But those moments are very, very essential. And I remember that, in fact, our mothers, when they used to talk, they used to say, Ki, I get up at 4:30, I make tea for myself, I sit,
Yeah.
I drink my tea, and then I
Yeah.
start my day. So that is their
Yeah.
moment.
That is their novel. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think I just keep on pushing this idea to my mom as well that, and she has that habit. She'll get up and she'll have a tea and quiet. So when we get up in morning, we just don't talk. And I usually make fun of it that, in the morning, if someone sees us, people would be like they have fought between amongst themselves. They don't talk to each other, but that's our quiet hours. We just don't want to. That's the mental space we are providing each other. So yeah. It's different for everyone, but one should really have. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah, so true. I mean, I've also seen one thing that, strong women. I mean, I need your input here that we see people often glorify this strong women, multitasker, strong women a lot, and we also talk about it, and everybody around us say that. Sometimes I feel that I don't want that tag, at moments. I really feel. Do you think that strong women is a good it is appreciative term though, but how does it really impact a woman, or is it some sort of pressure on you to be a strong woman, or else it is understood that you're a weak woman? So any comments on this strong woman tag that you get?
No, I think I'm in total agreement to you here. One is the whole theory of multitasking, right? So there is auto tasking, I would say. There is no multi. So there are certain things that we do every day and we don't have to put our head into it. It just automatically happens, right? You wake up, you brush your teeth, you maybe the mothers, the fathers, whoever is a primary caregiver is automated to make a child's breakfast while they are also answering some questions to someone. That's auto tasking for me. The tasking as such or to be present for someone really needs you to prioritize as it comes. You just juggle between priorities. It's impossible to multitask because if you say you multitask, then that means you are on a call like I am with you right now, and I'm also finishing up some office assignments. I
Hmm.
am definitely not giving my 100% at the either places. So I'm
Hmm.
prioritizing this right now, which is my
Hmm.
100% presence.
Hmm.
And the moments when I can multitask is like I can do my office work while I can also help my child with the homework because that is something I've put on to the auto. My brain knows that this can be auto done. If I give the
Yes.
guidelines, the person would do. So that's
Hmm.
one thing I truly believe in and refrain at least myself to say that I multitask. I am then
Very
not there.
nice. Really liked it. Yeah.
And the second bit of the tag of a strong woman, I think, yeah, I am in agreement somewhere that, it is some amount of, it also come with some amount of societal pressure.
Yeah.
The strong women, women who can do it all. I don't think so. You should keep saying that. Even if someday mama gets up and she cannot make a lunch or a breakfast, that should be okay. It shouldn't be a family issue that she didn't get up and made a breakfast. Please do
Yes.
go and check whether she was feeling well or she slept all right or not. Because that's unnecessarily creates a burnout in women, which is never spoken about. Whether you're a working professional, you're a homemaker,
Yeah.
you get tired, you want off times, you want
Yeah.
all of that, no? So, so why to question sometimes her choices? Sometimes you
Yeah.
should just support her choices, no? Let her make
Yes.
the choice. If Papa decides to cook a dinner today, that becomes a party day at certain homes. And Mama is usually doing this. Then, if Mama takes a off today, then that should also be a party day at certain homes. So, I'm saying a
Yes.
word, particularly certain homes, bold and italics, because things are have also changed in a lot of places,
Yeah.
and people are really equitably coming together for each other, which was again a wonderful thing to say about. So it's not just a strong women, there are also strong fathers out there who are doing it all, managing finances, managing three kids, education, families, well-being, everything. I think we should appreciate both of them and
Yeah.
remove the strong thing. Everyone is doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, loved it when you said, I mean, so true that yes, I mean, I often get to hear this, and I'll tell you why does that really question popped into my head, because I have seen women's who are at their, maybe 60s or so of their life, and they were considered as strong. I see them breaking up now, you know, and why they exhausted their self into the process of parenting and maybe hustling between parent and working, because they always, I mean, there were people around them glorifying strong women, and they never learned to take that pause which we are talking about. Fortunately, we're talking about taking that pause. We are talking about normalizing saying, yes, I'm tired, I don't want to cook, I don't want to
Yeah.
do that, I don't feel like making meal today, I don't feel like, even I want some space from that mama phase. I mean, it's okay, we are normalizing it, but earlier it was not, and I see those women breaking down today, physically, mentally. So that's why, I want to really talk about this and bring it up with you. And you've rightly, covered that. So thank you so much. Which comes, another point in my mind is that generally when we bounce back, you know, there is something that has disappointed us. There's something that has hold us also. Sometimes it's those pause that we choose. Sometimes it is situation. Sometimes it is actually the failure and also disappointment from the people you would have trusted. So generally, what breaks you more? Is it failure or is it disappointment? And which is more difficult to overcome?
Yeah. Um, this is very, very valid and very well said that, when you try to rebuild yourself, these emotions are very natural to come through, right? For me, failure won't. Failure, I don't think it used to be a very big issue for me. I could not, I was like, oh my God, how I can do this bad, and,
Hmm.
how I cannot just get through these things and all of that. But I think then eventually, with number of trials and errors, one of the learnings that I've got is that you fail 100 times, that's fine, because it's important to keep on trying and do something, right? Just don't stop
Yes.
yourself. I speak to many women, and I've spoken to some of them lately, and they were like, we want to restart our careers. They took a career break, having kids. Someone took you know, a career break for some or the other reason. And one of the things I always, kept telling them that it's okay that you took a pause, for some time. That is also okay. But then now, if you want to restart, you just come with that full conviction and commitment. Then you don't sail between two boats. It's okay that you will fail 10 interviews. You will know that what is stopping you, right? And so that you can make a success in the 11th one. So every failure, everything you do is going to give you some learning that you can apply today, tomorrow, later in your life. I think for me, as I said, failure used to bother me. It has bothered me, but I have also learned through this, and I've learned it in such a better way that now when I speak to people, I never speak from my successful example. I speak through my failure example, that this is going to get wrong and this is how it is going to land. And that just preps you and other folks as well very well. So it always gives you learning. So that doesn't scare me at all. The disappointment bit, because when you are of that emotional aspect that you are concerned about people, their well being, their emotions, how things will land on them, what it is going to be like. I think till date, although I've come a longer way in that too, but now this date, I think it's till date also this sometimes bothers me, but not at a very larger level. But yes, this emotion of leaving your child behind and going there for a larger career aspiration raises questions at times internally, externally, and maybe this is more internal than external to think about. I know that in past, and this is just for a favor of people who would listen to this, that I've been in this journey where I would think that I leave my house, my kids, everyone behind, and then come for this particular work aspect. There's this a guilt that how things are going to taken care of. There's this guilt that how people will look at me and things like that. But then I would say stop, pause, do a check. Is it a fact or a story? Do you know what is this fact here? So just go and check. Is your family all right to going to office? Yes, they are. Is your child all right to going to office? Yes, it is. That's the fact. Everything else is a noise in your head. It's a story. So get rid of it. No one is going to think anything about you. So I think that
Yeah.
will help you solve a disappointment level to a very large bit. But then, yes, there are people who are very emotionally sensitive, and they will carry people's emotions with themselves. And that is me too. At most of the times, that I think that how things are going to land on people and how they're going to take it. But I think a small conversation in those situations also help you with the particular individual you're thinking about, and then managing and prioritizing everything which is around you. Someday you need to prioritize that individual. Sometimes you need to prioritize yourself, sometimes your work, sometimes, your recreational activity, travel, whatever it is. It's all about
Yeah.
juggling your schedule.
Lovely. So what you mean to say here is that accept how it is right now. Don't bother much. Accept it's a phase perhaps, but what you're trying to say here is things will come. You may have to juggle. Don't pressurize yourself with the so-called perfection. Just keep moving and give yourself that space to let those things happen. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let those happen, and don't be bothered. Just keep moving. Just this is the life all about. If we would have had a timetable in hand, we could have planned number of things, but that is how it is supposed to be. Unexpected, happy, and based on how you form the next chapter of it. So let it be unexpected. Get on to it. Either we will get through the train and get to the station we were thinking about, or we will reach somewhere which is more beautiful than what we have imagined. So just keep that belief on.
Yes, yes. And that's going to be really beautiful because when I hear this, I mean, I can feel that sense of calm that, yes, I mean, because whatever you are doing, whatever many of such women's are actually doing in our life, of course, it's juggling between different tasks at same point in time, handling their emotions, their career, their ambitions, plus families and kids and relationships building, as well as having a thought of changing the people around you for good. So, what you have chosen also is not something normal, something easy. So, since you have not chosen easy, the path is also not going to be very smooth for you, right?
True.
So, let that bumps come and just enjoy the journey. And I'm sure that the destination will be beautiful. It all depends upon how calm you are while you are in this
Yeah.
journey. So,
Very
yeah,
well said.
lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nice. So, Mitali, you also mentioned that you have beautiful kids. If I'm not wrong, you have two pretty children.
Daughters. Yeah.
So, share some experience about your motherhood journey. How has you felt that motherhood really shaped you? You feel does it really reduce anyone's ambition, or you think that motherhood redefines how a woman pursue in her career
Yeah.
or life in general?
Yeah. No, I think first is I'm grateful that I'm blessed with two beautiful daughters, and the other thing is that they have shaped me into an individual I am. They have a very big role to play along in this, right? I think motherhood came with number of surprises, but then also raising me. as a human being I had never thought about. One thing I always is thankful for, that I didn't stop on my dreams, on my ambition, and on my the career which I wanted to shape for myself, and I'm still on it. I would not say I'm at a very successful stage already. I, as I said, my dreams are evolving, I am evolving, and this path is also evolving for me every day, right? And my children play a very, very beautiful part in it, because before them, I never knew that I was this strong. I never knew that, I could really at one point talk to a 2-year old and a 8-year old and listen to their different world stories and respond to them. And then in another moment, I could be in a leadership meeting giving some decisions and taking some decisions, right? So, so I think that is something that I knew just after I had my daughters, I had my kids, to understand that, what showing up really means in action. As a mother, you are falling behind a number of things and all of that, but still you'll just show up for them. And even this journey that I've chosen for myself, and every day there's this one thing I say to myself, that if 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, when my kids will look back at what my mama was like, they shouldn't have that baggage of legacies that mama stopped taking challenges, or mama didn't do, mama dropped everything because we were there in her life and all of that. They should not have this thought even for once. They should feel that women's life is usual. It is to make a decision for yourself. It is to rise up for yourself. It is to work for yourself. And it is to be there happily. What makes you internally happy is something women actually do. So, whether it is work, whether it is family, even if you are a homemaker, how you show up, more effective every day is the story my I want my kids to look at. So I think that thought has changed everything. That thought is changing me every moment, every day. I could be that one lazy person in my lowers all day, but then I thought of that I need to be with my kids. I get up and I get for them, in a way that they want, that okay, my mama represents this, or this is the story what every woman
Yes.
should have. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's lot changed with it.
I think that's why this motherhood really makes you stronger, even because we are kind of on the same sort of journey. I also feel that motherhood gives you a lot of strength. It never weakens you, it makes you extremely powerful. And in fact, I'm also, whatever I'm doing, I feel that there is some role that my kids have to play in this. And since you're talking about the legacy that a mom has to build for their children so that they feel, and it's a lived example, I feel it, that it's what we model for them, it's again what we are doing so that they are being raised as a resilient kids and also leaders, so to say. They know that my mama is really strong and she has built that legacy, so they look forward to, they know how real struggle looks like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they can become better, of course, from where we are. And I just want to share a small example of this, since we are talking about it, of my own life. So, way back when I had to drop my kid to the school, I didn't, I mean, I was never practicing scooty, okay? And the
Yeah.
school was
Yeah.
nearby. So I used to carry him by walking. And one day he said, Mama, why can't you drop me to the school through
Yeah.
scooty? And that moment really hit me so hard. The next day I took the keys and I already knew, but like I said, I never practiced. I
Yeah.
took my scooty, I took 3, 4, 5 rounds in the society, and within 2 to 3 days I was dropping him scooty. I was like, no, my child is telling me, "Ki, Mama, please, can't you do that?" So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, very
No,
connecting
no,
story. So
true, true. Kids really shape you in number of
yes,
ways. So,
yes.
yeah, as you said, they just make you more stronger. They
And they challenge you,
just
they challenge your notions,
correct.
and they build you a
Yeah,
better person.
they make you a better person. So yeah, I think one should enjoy this, this womanhood that they are blessed with. I think it's a beautiful life to live in multiple ways, and Yeah, so I think one should just embrace every bit of it. It's actually very beautiful once you start living in it. Yeah. It
Yeah,
comes with
yeah,
its challenges, yeah, disclaimer. But then those challenges shape you. Yeah. Those
shape you.
really shape.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
They shape you. So true. So true. Often, women are being tagged with overthinkers. They say
Hmm.
that, you crib your crybabies and why are you overthinking all the time? So do you think women's really overthink or they are being over evaluated all the time? They are too judged to relax.
Yeah. I think such very important thing that you're asking. And I don't think it's always women who overthinks. Number one, it's again individual personalities who like to overthink and who don't like to overthink, right? And in my view, no one should. No one should. You must know where you should stop your brain to go beyond. That is the decision individually you have to make, or talk to, people like coaches, talk to, different coaches who are in this field and know and can help you, can really help you to know that, where and how to stop and, and how to sort of diversify and make your decisions better would stop you with this thing of overthinking. And why I'm saying this, that why you should not practice, because this creates an unnecessary burden on your well being, leading to burnout and leading to other critical health issues too,
Yes.
leading to stress and all of that. So it's not women. It's I think different personalities.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
and while people say this, they're definitely over evaluating, over judging, women. And that should not be the way the society should really function, right? As as we all are evolving in this and as we look forward to a more brighter future for us and for everyone around us, it's equally important to let people be themselves. Okay, so whether you are a male, you're a female, please, when you head out for anything, just let them be. If someone just wants to do just want to do a start work on some sort of startup and things like that, don't judge them for being failures or being too critical about number of things that they are thinking. This is their journey. Let them fall, let them rise. It's okay. Give your right suggestion if you can. Otherwise, don't just bother. So I would say that it's often over evaluation. It's often a judgment that we have seen coming along with the women gender tag, and that shouldn't be the way it is. And I think the whole system, this is largely not to do with individuals. This is largely to do with the systems thinking, how our systems sort of think and put things across. This is largely to address at that level. So where what your media is showing, what kind of movies do you see, what are you reading, what is the influence you have at different levels, which really makes you think that way, is
Yeah.
probably we need to question that. We need to question at that level so that if there is, I didn't watch the movie, I recently read the review of a recent movie, Alpha, and someone said that, should we really look at alpha women in such a way?
Hmm.
And then that thought sort of pondered on me, very rightly, because this was just a review I'm hearing. I haven't seen the movie, not,
Hmm.
I haven't seen the visuals as well.
Hmm.
But then it made me curious and made me thought that, why you need to picturize someone. If you need to say you're a alpha men or a alpha women, you should look like that, you should act like this. Who is
Yeah.
defining all of this?
Right.
No one. So define for yourself and let the person define for themselves and be in their own journey. Don't be a judge to anyone else. That's what I would say,
Yes.
stop it at a right level.
Right. And that's what actually the healthy boundary creation looks like also, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's it. And,
Yeah.
and that is like super important. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you, Mitali. So tell me about Antardisha. I was just going through your website and I found it really sorted and beautiful what you are doing, and I'm sure that it's a pulse of every individual who is working today somewhere down the line. So Please unfold it for our viewers. What is really Antardisha is all about?
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for asking that, Prerna. So Antardisha is very close to us as we are, building Antardisha more refined. As the word suggests, as the name suggests, Antardisha, it is your story, inner and out, right? To give you a path which is crafted by you internally. So this concept of Antardisha works at different levels. It works with individuals to coach them through their leadership journeys, to coach them through their lives. That is where Antardisha actually comes in. Antardisha also offers at larger level working along with mid-level and senior level managers and leaders to define their journeys, to come up with larger programs for such organizations and help them through. And our programs are not sitting around a 1 day and a 2 day sort of things, which is a separate thing. It is largely around the journeys to support you thorough and through. And they're just made with a lot of industry research and understanding people at a heart level to see that how they want to shape themselves. So even the curriculums are designed such way, and these are again very customizable to see the organization's requirements, needs, and everything. So that's how Antardisha comes in with it and deals with it. So largely working in the space of individual coaching, the leadership and managers programs, the leadership coaching, as well as a larger bit of consulting to shape startups and organizations, their organization development and HR structures. So that's Antardisha is intervening at right now. That is where we stand as an organization, and we look forward to create a larger impact as we grow.
Absolutely. Where do you see people generally struggle? Because you talk about mid-level managers also. You would have done, a couple of interactions also with me. And the beautiful part is that you're saying that you support through and through in the journey, rather than just maybe giving a days or two workshop, because change requires time. So
Yes.
where do you see that, what really makes people struggle, and where do they really require your support? So what's the major blocker in their way that you have noticed?
Yeah. So it is again very different, industry specific, organization and individual specific, definitely.
Mhm.
But one of the common patterns that we have seen is one at the level of where people are shifting from individual contributor roles to their managerial roles. That comes as a place where people know that I have to get into people management, but then they do not know that what all people management actually carries along, right? It's also self management. It is people management in different dimensions. And then there is also a lot of stakeholder management bit that
Yes,
comes along with it.
absolutely.
So that is where Antardisha sort of comes in and, help people guide that journey through coming up with our particular programs which guide you through the behavioral testings to understand where do you stand right now, give you tools and mechanisms to work along all of that. And then once your journey is over, probably you again attempt such testings and see that, how those things have really progressed. So that
Hmm.
progress is something that you see for yourself and is also evident at your organization levels too. And some of the quick challenges when you transition from ICs to manager, as I said, they know now there's people team. They know that there is self management and thing. There is one common thing I've seen is with the building, or having more accountable to give delegation is one of the aspects, we usually talk about that it becomes very difficult for that individual contributor who was so aligned to do everything by
Yeah.
themselves that it
Yeah. So
becomes so
true.
tough,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. And
So,
I have a thought to add in that, that generally we say, I mean, it's a notion that is breaking also, that being a leader is not everyone's cup of tea. And I think leadership should not be given basis of just pushing hierarchy how we see it today. Rather, it should be a chosen and adopted field. It's okay that you are not pro in a technology. I mean, a leader need not to be a pro in a technology, but a good people's person. And I think
Yes.
organizations need to ask this question to themselves and their teams whether you're ready to be a leader
Yeah,
rather than just pushing an individual to go up that ladder and do whatever.
absolutely.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
should
And
be a
that's,
skill.
yeah, it is a skill. And that's where I was coming to that, when it comes at a broader level, supporting leaders of organization now, it is not about you are technically, it is definitely that one aspect of your competencies do remain that technically whatever you're working in, you are
Yeah.
very sound in it. But then the other aspect of people management comes with a lot of empathy, comes with a lot of emotional,
Yes.
quotient along with it. So we really try and work around all of
Yeah.
this to help support leaders and managers, to build those skills step by step, and don't rush into things and see the change in yourself. So,
Yes.
so that's
Yes.
how the approach sort of looks like.
Lovely. I really enjoyed this entire conversation with you, Mitali. The
Mm,
aspects
yeah.
that we have discussed. There were a lot of things that we generally don't talk about, and there were a lot of insights that you have shared, which were very, very sorted and a good insight and perspective. Also, we have received from you on certain subjects. It was absolutely pleasure to talk to you. As we are moving towards closing this episode for today, I would like to shoot a small rapid fire round, presented to you. And I would expect you to answer, each one of the question, maybe in just one or two words, what comes to your mind as you kind of hear this statement very quickly. And we'll just move past through it as the name suggests, rapid fire. So ready when you are, I'll start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Let's go. Yeah.
let's go. All right. So here is my first question. What does resilience look like on the days nobody claps for you?
Nobody claps for me, just bouncing back. It's
All
okay.
right. What is one thing women pretend they are okay with, but actually they are not?
Their mental well being,
What is the cost of always being the strong women?
mental well being, burnout,
Yes. What version of yourself are you still healing?
uh, dealing with that inner child who just wants to balance this all.
What would happen if women stop carrying everyone's expectation?
She would be tagged, but she would be independent. She'll have freedom.
Who were you before the world told you who you should become?
Curious child,
Do you think women need more confidence or more permission to be themselves?
confidence, anytime,
Okay. If your life were a book, what would this chapter be called? How would you name that book?
evolving.
Lovely, lovely. Very crisp and very to the point, and I'm sure from the heart because I could feel it. So, to every woman who is listening today, one last thing that you would like to tell them as a summary of all that we have discussed and the moments that you have lived in your life, who is hearing this today, what do you want to say that women?
I think to everyone out there, I don't know you personally, but I can feel you. Whether you are in your leadership journeys, whether you are a homemaker, you're a mom, I would say that whatever you are doing at this point of moment, you or you're just a early careers person who's just trying to get into the workplaces and all. There's just one thing I would say that number one, don't stop living for yourself. Define your path, have your confidence on. Don't worry about the failures. Don't worry about people's judgment. It all brushes off in some time. What remains with you is your experience. So either it is a learned experience or it is a celebrated one. So be there for both of it, experience all of it to experience life, and all the best for everything you do. I really appreciate each woman I meet, and I appreciate everyone's journey. I think if you could learn something from this conversation, I'm also out there to learn from everyone's experiences. here. So thank you so much. Thank you, Prerna, for this opportunity.
Thank
I
you
think
so much,
equally I've
Mitali. It
learned a
was
lot speaking to you and enjoyed this a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Same here. And I'm sure that the every woman who's hearing this will feel belonged. The only objective of this podcast is to tell them that you're not alone. You're not the only one struggling, and you're not doing anything wrong. We all are there with you, and we all are perhaps in the same boat. Just the colors are different, but we all are navigating the same path, and we hear you. So that's why we are interacting with everyday women. Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast today. And I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so
Same
much and have
here.
a great day.
Same here, Prerna. I'm so glad we could do this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.